Yo, what is going on, guys? Today I'm going to be going over my top 10 most anticipated movies of 2021. So, of course, these are the movies that we think will be coming out in 2021 based on release dates that the producers have given us currently. But with the whole pandemic, I'm sure we can get more delays for sure. A lot of these movies might not come out till 2022, but currently these movies are planned to come out in 2021. This is, of course, just based off of the movies that we know are coming out in 2020, or at least right now we think are coming out in 2021, because sometimes new movies might be revealed to us in a couple months, and they might be exciting, I don't know. But currently, these are the movies that I know of that are supposed to be coming in 2021. These are the 10 ones I am most excited for, from least excited to most excited. There's definitely a lot of other movies I'm excited for, but I just found the 10 ones that I was most excited for. You guys know what type of movies I like. You could probably assume a lot of movies that are already going to be on this list. Yes, there's a lot of Marvel movies. Yes, just expect that. A lot of horror stuff as well. Those are just my type of movies, so expect them to be there. And yeah, let's just get into it. Coming at the number 10th spot, I've got Candyman, right? So Candyman is a movie that I originally saw a long time ago. It's one of my favorite horror movies of all time. I believe it came out in 1992, I believe. And Tony Todd was just fantastic in that movie. I was a big fan of it. And when I heard they were doing a remake, I got pretty excited. So we don't know too much about this other than we have seen a trailer. And it is being directed by Nia DaCosta, which I believe she's also doing Captain Marvel 2, if I'm not mistaken. So that's interesting, but I don't really know much of her other work. I haven't really seen much of her work, so I don't really know how her directing style is. But the trailer looked really good. Some of these movies we have trailers, some of these movies we have posters, some of these movies we have absolutely nothing for, but some of these movies I don't even need anything for to still be really damn excited for it. But I mean, I don't really need to see much for Candyman to know it's probably going to be a pretty good movie, because I think Tony Todd's coming back. He's been rumored to come back. Some people don't think he actually is going to be coming back in it. It would make sense if he did, but I don't know. I want to see some good horror movies next year, and there's a couple on here, and this is just one of them on the list. There's not really much to talk about with it. I just thought the trailer looked really interesting, and it looked like it'll be a solid remake, hopefully. Hopefully. It could be trash. I think out of any of these movies on the list, the one that has the most potential to be bad is probably this one. But I also think it has a lot of potential to be really, really good as well. And in the 9th spot, I've got Uncharted, which of course is going to be based off of the Uncharted video game series. Now, I've only played a little bit of one of the Uncharted games. I've never actually played all of them all the way through. I don't really need to know that the Uncharted story is really great. I've heard a lot of great things about it. It has that sort of Indiana Jones feel to it. And of course, it is starring Tom Holland, which I think Tom Holland did an incredible job as Spider-Man. I've seen him in a couple other movies as well. He's been really, really great. So I think he could do a great job in here. And then also Mark Wahlberg is going to be in this movie playing, I think it's one of the characters. He's playing one of the characters. Mark Wahlberg, I love as well. So it's already starting off pretty good with two fantastic actors. And director also, he directed Zombieland and the first Venom movie. So I already like his work right there. Zombieland's really great. I think the directing of Zombieland is just fantastic. So it's already starting off pretty good. But just the fact that it's going to have that sort of Indiana Jones feel to it, I think is what's most exciting for me, is because I love Indiana Jones, and to see a movie that's anything similar to Indiana Jones but with a younger version of obviously Nathan Drake. People were a little disappointed that Nathan Drake was going to be like much younger, but I'm fine with that, because obviously Nathan Drake in the video game, he's a lot older than what Tom Holland is. Tom Holland's only like 24, 25 or something like that. I'm not too sure of his exact age, but he's not too old. But I think he looks like he could fit the part. They released an official image of him in the filming of the movie, and he looks pretty damn solid in the role, so I'm excited for that movie. The number 8 spots, I've got Morbius. So Morbius is going to be coming out in March of 2021. Supposedly that's what it's planned on coming out in, and that's really soon. That's like 4 months from now. The other two movies are coming out. Candyman, we don't have an official release for it, and Uncharted is supposed to be in July. But March for Morbius is really soon. I'm really excited for Morbius because it is going to be kind of connecting to the Spider-Verse. Well, actually, it is connected to the Spider-Verse, the Sony Spider-Verse, but loosely connected to the MCU. So It's not officially an MCU movie because of how Sony's really weird with this whole Spider-Man thing. So movies like Venom and now Morbius are like really just loosely connected to the MCU, but really going to be only connected to the Spider-Verse. I wouldn't be surprised if we see maybe Tobey Maguire or Andrew Garfield show up in this movie. I really wouldn't be surprised, but at the same time, they've already filmed a lot of it, so that would be kind of odd. But we do know that Michael Keaton as Vulture is going to be in this film. He was in the trailer at the very end. That got me really excited. If I didn't see Michael Keaton there as Vulture, I wouldn't have expected it was going to be connected too much to the Spider-Verse. So I was like, oh, it's exciting, but not that exciting. But what puts it on the list is the fact that, yes, it is going to be connected to this other stuff. And Jared Leto, although a lot of people trash talk him as the Joker, I think he's still a good actor, regardless of his portrayal of the Joker not being the best we've ever seen. He's still a good actor. So I'm excited to see what he can do with Morbius, even though I don't really know much about the character of Morbius. It looked like an exciting movie. I thought the trailer was pretty solid. So I'm definitely excited to see this in March. Hopefully in March. Hopefully it doesn't get delayed, but it probably will, knowing our luck. In the number 7th spot, I've got Spiral from the Book of Saw. Of course, this is another Saw film. This is coming out in May 2021. This is supposed to come out this past May, actually, so it's been delayed a whole year, which makes me think it's probably going to come out this May. I don't think they're going to delay it any more than that. And so the Saw franchise for me is something that I really enjoyed the first 2 Saws. The rest of them, though, I'm just like, they're okay. You know, they're not really anything too great. They're really just torture porn at a certain point. You know, they're not really like fun to watch. They're just like really just gruesome, and which some people like, and I think it can sometimes be enjoyable to watch, but the way they do it is just a little too sick sometimes, and I'm just like not interested. But the Saw movies always split up the detective side of things and also the torture side of things, right? This movie seems to be going more in the detective sort of a part of it. Like, it's going to be focusing on the detective side of things way more than the other side of things, which I think gets me really excited. We got Chris Rock starring in it, as well as Samuel Jackson.
You want to play games, motherfucker?
So that's already sounding amazing. I'm expecting a lot of great stuff from this film. I really, really am. I hope it ends up being the best movie in the Saw franchise. I think it definitely could be, but I'm not, you know, it's soon. It's a pretty soon movie. It's coming out in May, so we'll know in time. I don't think it's going to be delayed any more than that. You can tell some of these movies are probably going to be delayed, but the ones that aren't are the ones that were supposed to come out like this year anyways. I don't think those are going to get delayed anymore, to be honest. It just wouldn't make much sense to me. Coming in number 6 spot, I've got Black Widow, which is also supposed to be coming out in May of 2021. So Black Widow obviously is, of course, an MCU movie, and it's starring Black Widow. So I love the MCU. It's probably I would say it's my favorite franchise, like my favorite sort of movie franchise out there. I love Star Wars as well, but I think Star Wars is probably a close second. There's no Star Wars movies coming out this year, unfortunately. We got a lot of Star Wars shows, but no movies, so none of those on this list. But I'm really excited to see Black Widow just because of the fact that Black Widow's a great character. She really is. I mean, she's been in the MCU since Iron Man 2, and unfortunately, of course, she did die in Endgame, but it's still really exciting to see her in action in like a prequel type film, which I believe takes place either between the Winter Soldier and Civil War, or Civil War and Infinity War. I don't remember which position it takes place in, but the MCU has always just had some really awesome action, and it's pretty fun. Usually the movies are pretty fun to watch, so I'm really just expecting some of that similar type of stuff. And I mean, come on, Scarlett Johansson, that's going to be great to watch. I don't think anyone's denying that it's going to be great to watch Scarlett Johansson in this role. So I don't really have to say much more. It's just Black Widow. That's exciting. Number 5th spots. This is a very surprising movie to me. I just saw the trailer for this movie like a couple days ago. I have never heard about it before then. Out of nowhere, this trailer pops up on my feed. I watch it and I'm like, I'm seeing this day one. And this movie is called Nobody. Comes out in February, which is like 2 months from now, and it's starring Bob Odenkirk, of course, who plays Saul in, Breaking Bad. That's where most people know him from, of course, also Better Call Saul. I loved him in Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul, so I'm expecting him to be just as good in this movie, but this trailer just caught my attention like crazy. Because the trailer itself just looked fantastic. Like, this is one of the movies we have had a really solid trailer for, and It's just such a weird and bizarre movie. So essentially the premise of the film that I can gauge from this trailer is that Bob Odenkirk plays this father of this family and his husband, and they get robbed, right? Doesn't seem like they robbed much though. They stole like $30 or something and some like kitty bracelet. They didn't steal much, right? But they stole some stuff, and he just kind of gets, yelled at by a lot of people like, yo, dude, why didn't you do anything? Like, and I'm surprised. I'm like, oh, why is everyone talking trash? I assume it was just like a joke, but I think it's because, well, we learned in the trailer that he originally was, working with some really, really bad people, or at least some really tough people, and so he's like a fighter, man. This dude's like a John Wick style fighter, right? And he just says,
I'm gonna fuck you up.
and I don't know exactly what his plan is here. The trailer doesn't give the movie away, which I'm glad. I don't want to know the whole plot of the movie from the trailer. I hate when trailers do that. But he just starts killing people, just starts attacking people, fighting people. But obviously, bad people. He's not just fighting anyone. So it's almost like a fucking superhero movie in some aspects. But he then goes after this kitty bracelet that apparently was stolen, and it's just a hilarious premise.
Give me the goddamn kitty cat bracelet!
And it looks like a fun-ass movie with Bob Odenkirk going around killing people. Come on now. It looks great. The trailer was exciting. I cannot wait to see this. It gives me like some Liam Neeson type movie vibes, John Wick style vibes, and that is exciting for me. So this is the only movie on this list that I think is not connected to a pre-existing franchise, which is interesting. That just goes to show I'm a big fan of franchises. I don't really like to watch, one-off movies usually too often. I like ones that are usually connected to other stuff. This is the only one on this list that just has no connection to anything else. It's not a sequel. It's not it's not a remake. It's at least to my knowledge, it's just its own movie. But the trailer grabbed me and said, yo, this is going to be great. And Bob Odenkirk, I think, is the main reason why. So I'm excited for nobody. Number 4, Halloween Kills. So yeah, I love Halloween. I love the Halloween franchise. I love horror movies in general. And Halloween is going to be coming out in October of next year. It was supposed to come out this year, so I don't think it's going to be delayed any more than that. And I'm really excited. So Halloween 2018 I thought was fantastic. I really, really enjoyed it. There was only like 1 or 2 things about it I didn't like too much. I thought it was a really solid sequel to the original. The way they kind of did that was interesting, how they kind of just negated every other movie and just said, okay, screw it, we're just gonna make a direct sequel to the original. And I thought it did a pretty good job with it, and I was really happy to hear they were going to do a trilogy of films with it. And I just want to see Michael killing some more people, man, honestly. That's the main attraction of this damn movie. I thought they did a great job with it in Halloween 2018, so I'm assuming it's going to be some of the similar stuff. They gave us little, teasers here and there, nothing too crazy, but just from the teasers alone, I could tell this is going to be an exciting movie. I kind of hope they do something with Jamie Lee Curtis in this film. I don't know about killing her off, but you have to really build up Alice, of course, who was her granddaughter, in a way that makes her interesting enough so she can lead the movie afterwards. So we don't need Jamie Lee Curtis as Laurie Strode anymore. But I don't know how fans would handle that. I just don't know. Maybe they should wait for the final film. Maybe give her like a sacrifice moment or something. I don't know. But I think they need to do something with that and really set up the final film to be something fantastic. You can't just do the same thing. If it's just a repeat of Halloween 2018, then we're going to have some problems. It has to really be its own thing and feel very different for it to be successful, at least in my opinion. So I'm still excited for it, but we'll see what happens. Coming in number 3 spot, I've got The Suicide Squad. So the biggest thing about this movie that I'm most excited for is, well, the cast. The cast is huge. You got Margot Robbie, Pete Davidson, Idris Elba, Jared Leto, John Cena. I mean, it's got a huge cast, right? But the biggest thing that I'm most excited for is James Gunn as the director. James Gunn is an incredible director. His work on Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1 and 2 is phenomenal. I think Guardians of the Galaxy is one of the best superhero movies of all time. One of the best Marvel. It's one of my favorite movies. It's in my top, I think, 20-something movies of all time. I love Guardians of the Galaxy, right? He did a fantastic job with that. He even did a good job with Volume 2, although I didn't like Volume 2 as much, but still did a great job with it. He's going to kill it with the Suicide Squad. He knows how to handle large casts like this. Wacky, wacky casts, right? The characters in this look wacky as hell. And that's what Suicide Squad is supposed to be, right? I'm one of the people who didn't really hate the first Suicide Squad. I thought it was fine. I really didn't think it was anything too terrible, right? This comes out in August, by the way. I didn't think it was anything too terrible. I thought it did what it was supposed to do, although it could have been a lot better. I thought Jared Leto's Joker performance was weird, but it was such a small portion of the movie. I really didn't hate the movie. I think it's an underrated movie, but this one I think will likely be a lot better just because James Gunn's leading it. That's all I really need to know, to be honest. And the cast is just massive, and we haven't got like a trailer yet, but we've seen like behind the scenes clips, and it looks exciting. It looks really damn exciting. So I'm expecting this film to be something spectacular. I really, really am. This is one of the ones I'm most excited for. It's actually going to be directly going to HBO Max because all the DC movies are going to be going to HBO Max next year automatically, which is awesome. But I can't wait to see this, man. I really can't. I think it's awesome just because I don't have to go to the goddamn, theaters for it. Even though I love going to the theaters, some movies I just don't feel like going to the theaters for, and I think I'm more likely to see it as soon as possible if it's not in the theaters. But a lot of these movies, like number one, I have to see in theaters, or else you'll know why. You guys can probably guess my number one spot. If you know me, you know my number one. If you know me, you know my number one. Number two. Actually, number two will probably kind of convince you what number one is just by what number two is. Whatever. Number two is Venom, Let There Be Carnage. So this is the sequel to Venom, which I liked Venom. I didn't think it was a bad movie like a lot of people did. I thought it was underrated, and I like it even more now, knowing that it is loosely connected to the MCU and being connected to the Spider-Verse. I hope we see Tom Holland, Tobey Maguire, or Andrew Garfield within this movie. I don't know if we will. We probably won't, to be honest, but I think that would just be mind-blowing if we did. What is most exciting about this movie is Woody Harrelson as Carnage. Oh my god, that's gonna be incredible, dude. I don't know. Let me just check real quick, because I actually don't know if this movie has a rating yet. I really hope they can give it an R rating. I don't think it's rated yet. If they can give this an R rating, that would be phenomenal. But I absolutely loved Tom Hardy as Venom. He just did a fantastic job. And Woody Harrelson is one of my all-time favorite actors. So being able to see him as Carnage is gonna be wild, man. As a massive Spider-Man fan, which might have just spoiled number one for you, but I'm so excited to see Venom and Carnage action in a film. I would love for it to be R. I don't know if they will do that. This is coming out in June. Please, man, just make it R. I just want to see Carnage killing people, dude. That would be so sick. And Venom coming in and intertwining and having some sort of a fight, and maybe bringing Tom Holland into that, and maybe bringing these characters into Spider-Man's future films. I don't know. I want to see Venom, man. I love Venom. I think he did a great job in his movie, and I think the movie would have been so much better if it was R, though. It would have been so much better. Suicide Squad is actually going to be R, so that's exciting. That movie's going to be brutal as hell, I feel like. But let's get into number one. Number one, coming out in December of 2021. Hopefully it's not delayed, please. Spider-Man 3. So, of course, we don't have an official title for this movie. We don't have a trailer yet either. We don't have much for this. But Spider-Man is my all-time favorite superhero. It's one of my all-time favorite characters, one of my all-time favorite franchises. I love Spider-Man. I love the Raimi films. I even love the Amazing Spider-Man films. I've loved the MCU Spidey films. I love them all, really. I really do. And after hearing the rumors, and I would say confirmed now, like 95% likely, Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire returning in their roles into this movie with the whole multiverses combining and such, is what got me so damn excited for this film. I mean, it would probably still be number one, even if we just were going to get a Tom Holland Spider-Man movie, just like any normal Tom Holland movie. But no, we're getting Andrew Garfield coming back, Tobey Maguire, Emma Stone, Kristen Dunst, Jamie Foxx as Electro. I mean, all these villains returning. You got Doc Ock returning. You got rumors of Green Goblin coming back, rumors of Sandman coming back. Bro, this is gonna be insane. It's gonna be insane. So I don't expect those. Oh, Daredevil's in it as well. I can't forget about Daredevil. This movie's gonna have so much to it, but I think John Watts can handle it. I think he'll be able to do it. They just have to. I think honestly, those characters should probably just wait to come into like the last half of the movie and maybe set up for future films. Hopefully setting up for another Tobey Maguire film and another Andrew Garfield film, and maybe another Spider-Verse film as a whole. Maybe we'll get some Miles Morales stuff coming. Maybe we'll tease that a little bit here and there. I mean, there's a lot they can do. Like, a lot they can do with the Spider-Verse now. And it's really exciting. You got Morbius in there, Venom stuff, Spider-Man. There's a lot they can do with this whole Spider-Verse thing. And I'm just... Oh, I'm so excited, man. I'm so freaking excited for Spider-Man 3. We don't know the name of it yet. We're supposed to get some clip of it in December. So I don't know if we're going to get a teaser within the next couple days or the next week. I hope we do. We need something, man, because I just want to see Spider-Man, man. That's all I want to see. But regardless, I'm really excited. Also, some honorable mentions I just want to get out of the way. Godzilla vs. Kong. I don't want to include this because obviously I've never seen any Godzilla movies. I've seen all the King Kong movies though, so I'm probably gonna see it just for that. I'm not too excited for this movie, but like I'm gonna see it. And Free Guy also looks pretty interesting. It's that video game movie where it's like Ryan Reynolds, can't even say his name, in this video game universe, which is kind of interesting. So that's all the 2021 movies that I'm excited for. 2022 looks much more promising, even though they got a lot of movies in 2021, planned. 2022 though, and beyond, 2023. There's a lot more there. Like, you got Indiana Jones 5, you got Jurassic World Dominion, you got all these Star Wars movies coming out, you got a lot more Marvel stuff. There's a lot more stuff coming in later on. But still, next year is still really exciting. I think 2020 has been the worst year for movies ever. Like, ever, at least in my lifetime. I don't think there's been a worse year. Obviously, because of the pandemic, but still, there's just not been a lot of stuff. So I'm excited to see more, you know what I mean? So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know your list in the comment section below. Maybe there's a movie I missed out on. Maybe I just don't even know this specific movie's coming out, or I just am not as excited for it as you might be. But I want to hear your opinions. Let me know in the comment section below, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.